It's hard to see and listen close when he has these dreams that are so real. The actual thing ended about 40 years ago, but the fight inside his head still goes on from every daydream to every night. He's back there. He's back in the killing fields. If it's hard for me to listen, I can't imagine what it is to him. After all, I am the only nurse that takes care of him. Him, who was once the hero who made sure that others can live their lives in peace and safety. Now he's stuck in his head, stuck in these dreams, forgotten and alone. He sleeps most of the time now, but when he's awake, he tells me these stories, which I'll remember for the rest of my life. I'm sure of it. After the great air raid and all the casualties, he and 3 other men were left to fight. They are surrounded by Soviet soldiers over 2 weeks without help. I was called, of course, but the answer was, "There are no more people to send." He tells me this many times after his long sleep periods with tears in his eyes. Only thing I can do now is just listen. Of course I know they're just dreams, but to him, they are real panic and suffering. When he cries in his sleep after his fallen soldier friends, it's really real. After that 2 weeks, they had nothing anymore. No bullets, no food, not even clothes to wear. Soviet soldiers came and took them. He never saw his friend again. He himself was sent to Siberia to work in the camps. The camps in Siberia were different from German camps. There were no gas chambers and no need for them because in Siberia the weather and hard labor was the only thing that made life shorter, so there was no reason to slaughter people with gas. He never told me any more about his time in the camps, and I never asked. It was not my place to go asking these kind of things. After arriving to his home today, I noticed him sleeping and, like always, shouting orders and calling God to help him while he dreamed. I always feel so bad about that, but I know that there is no person who can take these dreams away from him, not even with the dementia he has. I pray every evening that the dementia would go down and let him forget, but that isn't possible. After fixing his dinner and giving him his medication, I asked him where he was in the dream. He answered, "In Kola, and they all died. Why am I still here?" I had no answer to him. How could I? I wasn't there, and I really can't imagine what it is like to see your friends die. He went to bed after that and asked me to stay until he would sleep. I promised to stay as long as he wanted and left the room. He fell asleep quickly after the pills started working and I started making these notes. I felt like I could use them somewhere. As I was writing these notes, I heard a sound coming from the bedroom. I ran there, fearing he had a seizure. When I entered the room, I noticed to my surprise, he was laughing. I sat down to listen to his words. He was talking to his friends, who, to my knowledge, had fallen in combat. He was smiling. How nice to see you all. I was so alone, but now you all are here. I smiled quietly as I saw his face light up and dream. They will never beat us down again now that we're together, he said. After that he sighed deeply and fell silent. Before saying anything, I walked to him and saw that he no longer had a pulse. With tears running down my face, I took his hand and told him to rest. Everything is fine now, and the war has ended. It's time for the soldier to rest. And for the first time, there really was a war that ended with a smile.